This project is supported in part by an award from the National Endowment for the Arts, which believes that a great nation deserves great art, and by a grant from the National Film Preservation Foundation.
What do you think Appalachian known for?
Coal.
Moonshine.
Hillbilly.
Poverty stricken.
Is there
And
poverty?
clean air.
Is there poverty in Appalachia?
Yeah, there is.
That's another bad thing. These guys make big deal
Why
out
don't
of
you
it.
like? Why don't you like?
Because there's nothing to do, you just sit home on Saturday nights, go to ball game, go to ball game, come home, go to bed, wake up, go to
That's
school.
it.
Same old thing. No.
Are you gonna stay?
There's nothing to do.
Where are you going?
I'm not staying here, I'll tell you that much.
As far as the youth are doing anything, these boys here, I'm pretty sure Dean and all the rest of them say, you know, that the only thing that they have to look forward to at all during the wintertime is a ball game. And if you don't go to the ball game, you stay at the house and watch television, that's about it. You either get drunk, get into trouble when you get drunk, or go to the ball game. That's about the crowd, because there's nothing else to do.
That's the cutter here. And that's the actual press over here. There's all kinds of settings. All the other equipment is over across the road here that burned up. The dark room, everything, even the filing cabinets, the desk, about, I'd say $18,000, $20,000 worth altogether that was burned up. This is the only thing left that didn't burn of the 979 CAC building and the Expo building. As you can see, the rest of it is burned completely down. The kids have found a use for it, and that's to play basketball if they ever get the goal fixed back up there. I think we were getting a little too much political power and doing a little too much organizing with the Hawkeye, because we could really get out information to people in that monthly paper. Well, I think we got it out twice a month, I believe. But anyway, we could get out all sorts of good things about federal programs, school lunches, Title I funds, everything. You know, we could really organize around that thing. And we knew that it was going to be burned down. We knew that something would happen to it, get blown up or something, because we'd heard before that the local politicians or some of the people had a meeting and said that damn Hawkeye's got to go one way or the other. And it went about 3 or 4 weeks later.
Don't believe in that. And the old timers around here, they believe right now, I've talked to enough of them that I know, they believe right now that people's going to go right back like it was here maybe about 50 or 60 years ago. You know how it was back then, the way the old timers told me where it was. Said it's going right back to the same time.
That means where you're going to have to put corn on the hillside and grow off the land, huh? Live off the land?
Live off the land, yes, sir.
Do you think that's possible, all this strip mining and everything going on around here?
No, I don't believe it is. That strip mining's got to stop. It will be stopped, too. Sure will.
Sylvie solved the whole problem the other day. We was driving back past White Oak, and she looked over at the mountain, and she said to me, Sylvie's a woman that lives up in our neighborhood. She's 60-some years old. She looked over at me and said, "Now, that's the strip mining problem we're fighting, ain't it?" And I said, "Yes." She said, "What can we do about that?" And I said, "I don't know, Sylvie. People try to do stuff, and they keep winning out every time." And she scratched her cheek, and she said, "We just ought to take all the people that's doing that out and blow them up."
Trees, they grow tall, the grass is growing green. Many a cold and winter's night that I alone have been. It is a cold and cruel night that I must lie alone. The bonny boy is young, but he's growing
Everybody stand back here. I don't believe we're going to have enough room for people to do.
Young people won't go into the mines any longer because they've seen their fathers go down every day before daylight, come back after dark with black lung disease, emphysema, or in many cases their fathers not return at all because of some calamity in the mines caused by the failure of the mining corporations to maintain safety standards.
The state, as far as I know, has been enforcing the federal mine laws and regulations. We're here tonight to try to help the families.
They see the Congress of the United States pass legislation which attempts to ensure that the mines will be safe and that the dust levels will be low enough that the miners can breathe without getting these horrible diseases that stop up their lungs. But they see a year after that legislation is passed that 2,800 of the 3,000 underground mines in the country are in violation of the federal law.
But I don't think the young people around here should go into the mines. I tried it and I just don't like it.
They see a nation which can get outraged about 70 miners being killed because of the lethargy of a coal mining corporation. But they see, on the other hand, a nation which cares little about many more hundreds of men who may have died, but have not died in one calamity.
Well, now you can go to vocational school and get a vocation before you're going to use it at. There's no place you can get a job. There's no job opportunities. There's no way of trying to make any money. And if you did make any money, there's no money in this. There's no way you can. It's us coal mining.
Oh man, he drives a motor, what's called a motor in the mines. That's where it's a small buggy sits about that high off the mines and it hauls cars out and it's loaded with coal. And he come home about 3 weeks ago. He'd like to just 3 inches getting his head cut off like that. And I said, man, that's not for me.
No good. I ain't going in there.
Yeah.
Well, right now,
never.
Like?
He's an electrician, but he went in, he goes in every once in a while to repair things. And I went with him to Virginia one time. He had to fix something way back about 1,000 feet under the ground. And he gets back under there, and I'm kind of young anyhow. And I'm standing there at the drift mouth, they call it, and I'm hollering, hey, come out there! And it's crap. I got really frantic. Because after I seen him go in, he stayed in there a couple hours. I thought he fell in or something.
Yeah,
well, I said, no way.
I'll probably have to go up north to get a job for the summer because I don't see any prospects around here. Without maybe I could get on one of these construction companies, which is hard to do. Right now, I don't know how it'll turn out. I don't know what it'll do.
And most of the experience I've had with these companies is they give the lowest jobs they've got to the people here. That's labor. About the best you can get is driving the truck. If you can get a job driving a uke up there on that construction, you're going to be awfully lucky, I think. And you're going to have hold a certain amount of votes, I think, to get that job because everything that you work at boils right back down to holding votes and somebody building power for himself as a politician.
Growing up and knowing they're going to have to leave, and they're looking forward to it. And you can't blame them, really, because there is nothing around here for anybody.
I graduated from Mullen School, and I graduated in '68. And since then, I got out, stayed around here about a year. I laid some carpet, did a few other things, and then I took off for Michigan and stayed a year there. And I didn't like it too good there, and I come back. So after I got here, I've been laying around now for about 5 or 6 months, nothing to do, can't get a job. And I guess I'll just probably stay this way until I go back to Michigan.
Oh, Father, dear Father, I think you've done me wrong to go and get me married to one who is so young. For he is only 16 years and I am 21. Bonnie boy
Merry Christmas, kids. Gather around and tell old St. Nicholas what you'd like to have for Christmas Eve. Old St. Nick has got some candy and some apples and oranges and everything today. And he'll be back around with old Rudolph. Old St. Nicholas will see what they want through his crystal ball, but if they tell him, it makes it a little easier on old Santa. Come on, girls. Don't be bashful here. Old Santa's been watching you all year in his crystal globe. We had two Santa Claus this year. We had one for the 979 area, one for Little Mud, and one for Toller. I played the Santa Claus on Toller and Little Mud. We served, I'd say, probably 500 people there. We go to the head of the hollows where the kids can't get out. That's probably the only thing that they get for Christmas. I'm telling you, she's something else. I believe she's a little bit afraid to come over and talk with old Santa. What would you like Santa to bring you Christmas Eve? Okay, you don't want nothing special, but old Santa just should look in that crystal ball and find out what. Boys, is that your hound dogs there?
They're not hounds.
One's a shepherd and one's got a little hound in him, ain't he? Old St. Nicholas knows hounds.
Santa's
getting a little nervous. He's awful old. He can't move around like he used to. My dears are getting a little old, too. Yeah, they look forward to that for months, and like the gentleman on Toller was talking about black lung, even if you're playing Santa Claus, you're going to get cornered about black lung cases or Social Security or something that the organization has been working on. I think that, too, is shaking the people up, the local politicians and things, because they can see now that the people can go ahead and run certain programs, get certain projects done on their own without having to ask them for a Christmas basket or having to go down to the Chamber of Commerce.
Well, the politicians can't stand it, but the surrounding people, they love it.
And if we can keep building grassroots organizations and keep educating the people, which is a damn hard job to do, it's long, it's slow, I think that's the only hope that I see for industry and for political change and social change here. Well, Merry Christmas, and old Santa will see you Christmas Eve. Bye-bye. Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho.
What do y'all think about the Letcher County school system in general? What do you think about it? Your personal opinion.
First. It's lousy.
What do you think?
I think it stinks.
Why?
It's just screwed up. I mean, there's nothing to it.
Whose fault is it?
The biggest part of it, I guess, I don't know.
Is it politics?
Partly.
Do you have an opinion on it?
Well, there's much room for improvement. A great deal of it has to do with politics. The whole system is based on politics, I think, which indirectly affects the students themselves, because they have a part in it too. I mean, their daddies and their mothers are politicians. So.
What do you think about it?
I don't like it. Nobody cares about it. Nobody thinks anything about it.
Do you think it's the teacher's fault or the
Partly.
student's fault?
It belongs to everybody. And there's not enough students who care enough about it to do anything about it. And the teachers don't want to help the students to get organized.
Do they have a student council?
I don't believe they do, really now. I believe they started a few years ago. I'm not sure they've kept it up. I don't think they did.
There's no real interest to start.
Science club, they have science club, of course. And
they don't have a student government then, they have no interest.
I wouldn't want to say for sure there, but I don't believe they have that. They were organized in the future. I mean, a parent, student, teacher. Parent, student, teacher, so is that the way you say it? Mm-hmm. They organized in that. PSTA, is that it? They organized it this year, of course.
Something needs to be done.
What? Can you tell me what?
Writing wouldn't help, but if you could get the students all to stick together to do one thing instead of flying out this way and going in different directions if you get them all going for one thing.
Well, the kids have to, as you said, unite. They're going to have to get a big enough body in order that they'll have to listen to us. And I mean, we're not going to burst through the door at first, maybe, but we'll have to get enough people, together to go up, and then they have to listen to us.
Yeah, I'd hate to quit school, but the subjects are pretty easy and all that, but just the teachers, they ain't got the right kind of teachers, I think.
What's wrong with them?
Well, like I said a minute ago, they just grouchy and they don't help you do nothing.
Teachers generally, do they want to work for the class or help the class out, or just...
Most of them don't. They just there and that's it, getting paid for nothing.
That's one of the attitudes, because everybody, when they go to college around here, the young kids that do go to college and finish, they all teach school, because that's the one thing that you can get a job at around here if your politics are right, if you can get a job teaching. And it's simply a matter of the teachers wanting to stay here and wanting to have an income, a way to live here. And I'd say 80% of them aren't interested in teaching at all, but it's a job to them, a job that brings in a paycheck for them.
You remember, Sherman, when you was going down here to school, why don't you say a little something about the school lunch issue? I remember you saying
I know all about that.
That you sit up on the stage going hungry many times and watched them eat, didn't you, Sherman?
Yeah, I sat down there, Elementary School, sat right down there up on the stage and watch little children starve down there, and they'll eat a bite every day down there to about 6 or 7 hours till school turns out. Sit down there, and them big school teachers just walk up there and they give a school children 1 cup of milk, and the school teacher gets 2 cups. And out there, Mr. has been taking money off these school kids down here, a quarter every day, and been sticking it right in their billfold, and that government food, it free like that. I don't see how in the world they do it, but they did.
In other words, even if you qualified for lunches and could pay, they would still make you pay. And if you couldn't pay and qualified for free or reduced price lunches, then you simply did without while the others ate.
They're going right. Shows the truth.
Johnny, you were saying something about having an experience in the PA office the other day about an old fella trying to get a medical card and how he was treated in that office there with no organizers or anyone to work with him up there.
You mean the one that came in there? I was sitting over across the room from him, but I heard his discussion with this woman. And the woman said he had to spend, I think, $500 and some in a period of 3 months before he was allowed a medical card.
And of course, the guy didn't have 5 cents probably. That's why he's applying for a medical card.
I think there'd be 2 things I'd say. Number one is it's interesting where money goes for medical research. It goes into, the big thrust right now is cancer, heart disease, and stroke. Cancer, heart disease, and stroke are what kill old people. It doesn't kill the young kids, like a lot of other things do, like lack of proper nutrition, bad housing, it gives them pneumonia and knocks them off, or the lack of proper food in order to develop normally, and all the rest of the whole gamut of environmental and medical problems. That's not where the thrust is. It's at the other end of the spectrum, where people vote. Okay, that's number one. The second thing is that the Public Health Board is made up of 2 local physicians, the county judge, the superintendent of education, a dentist if there is one, and the public health official. Where's consumer representation? Where are the people that have the problems represented? How can they talk to the people that provide the service? They're not there.
We're trying to get a trailer that'll be staffed full-time with a nurse and have a doctor come in 1 day a week. For this, the people would be paying 50 cents to see the nurse, $1 to see the doctor, and $1 for any medication they received. But the actual care of, when they find something can't be done in a trailer clinic. What we'll be doing is primarily health screening trying to kind of re-educate so that people get used to coming down and having checkups with doctors. We'll be doing a kind of monitoring service, epilepsy, diabetes, hypertension, things that have to be maintained, regular visits to the doctor. A lot of it's going to be, I think probably the biggest most important thing that's going to come out of this is that it's the community that set up the clinic, and it's the community that's staffing it, it's the community that's hiring the personnel that is actually administering their own clinic. I think this is the most important thing that came out of our project all summer.
I think it can be possible that young people that don't care about working no more, which I don't. I can take me a drink and that satisfies me. But here they go smoking that grass and stuff and all that stuff. It's not worth a damn to them. They ought to know better. They should just pull out from that for good. And people right now, school teachers, and these people went to college, and these people went to college, buddy, that can't do nothing. Had a man that went to second grade never did do. People went to second grade way back there, used to write on an old piece of slate. They can do more than people went to college right now, maybe 8 or 9 years to college or some kind of school. They don't know nothing about it right now.
So you're saying that the educational system they got now ain't worth nothing then, is that right, sir?
It ain't worth nothing. No.
They ain't learning that.
Young people, if they won't open their ears up and listen, why they'll listen. If they don't, why they'll go ahead about their business.
Oh, daughter, dear daughter, I have not done you wrong, for I have married you to a rich man's son, and he will be a match for thee when I am dead and gone. He is young, but he is daily growing.
So I think that really true mountain people haven't been interfered with too much. You know, they can accept differences in people and this kind of thing.
I think it might be open.
And that's one of the reasons why we have our music festival, is to bring these people of different backgrounds and everything together and let them talk and let them find their common ground, because there's so damn much trouble now that I think every little effort we can make toward that is a very positive thing to do. And that's that we're trying to preserve our culture, you know, because that gets ripped off all the time. TV and radio and all the mass media, of course, have really made a lot of inroads into it. Somebody wrote that book, called them Yesterday's People. Hell, I think they're tomorrow's people, because they still haven't forgotten how to be human, you know. And sometimes it gets awful hard to be human, but once in a while something comes along and reminds you that you can be.
Oh, Father, dear Father, I'll tell you what I'll do. Send the boy to college for another year or two. And all around his college cap, I'll bind a ribbon blue, for to let the ladies know that he's married. At the age of 16, he was a married man. At the age of of 17, he was the father of a son. At the age of 18,